Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Wednesday. Yes, happy Wednesday to each and every one of you that is joining in today, whether you're joining us here live this morning or indeed joining in later on for the recordings, of course, at a time that works for you. Well, appreciate you. Thank you so much for choosing to be a part of Story Time. And I hope that you had a lovely Tuesday out here in the Bay. It was nice and warm, and today we dip a little bit. I think 20 degrees off of what we had yesterday, so probably that jacket is a good idea as you go out today. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. How is it where you are? How is it in your neighborhood? How is it in your area? Hopefully the weather is just right for you. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. And yesterday we read we had to make a switch as I did not have the book, but I have it today. MERIN is here, and we're reading MERIN and Her Very Bright Star. And of course, yesterday we're reading Anika Mrosrisi and Mika Song's Love Sophia on the Moon. A sweet book, favorite of mine for sure. And today we bring back another one, I think, with an important topic, but also just beautifully written story by Lori Mier, and wishing you all the best out there in Virginia, and of course you and the family. And thank you for this wonderful book, and illustrations are by Ethan ROFFLER for this one. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. And of course the Rise Foundation sending you love out there as well, and please continue doing the amazing work that you do. Thank you for being here with us today on Storytime. Appreciate you, and as always, let us know where you're joining in from and if anybody else is joining in with you. And remember too, if you cannot catch Storytime live at 7 a.m. Pacific time, you can always catch the recording at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So look at that for your area. And then, of course, you can always catch Storytime at storytimewithmisslimata.com, Storytime with Miss Limata, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, follow us on Instagram, and you get all the scoop. Storytime. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and I hope that you are well. And I hope that this book sets you up nicely for the day ahead. And of course, if you had a night, maybe, not too much sleep or something like that, well, I hope that you do find that opportunity to just rest up as the day goes on. Wishing you well, sending you the very biggest of hugs. Thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime, and good to see you here. Pamela Courtney, how are you doing this morning? Thank you for joining us from out there in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And yes, appreciations all around. I say good morning from the place where people's lawns are finally drying out. Thank you so much for joining in, Pamela. Appreciate you. And thank you indeed for joining in Storytime. And what's that? Tian no longer get to hang out with me in the mornings. She works at the university. Well, that the university people are lucky. How lucky are they? Yes. But Auntie Anne, always, always, always in our hearts, right? Thank you so much for that information. And of course, thank you, Auntie Anne, for the company all along, and wishing you the very best at the university as well. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. And of course, everybody else, Braylon, Chad, Jamal, everybody sending you love out there in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Thank you indeed for being here with us on Storytime. And of course, sticking to all things Pamela Courtney. Well, Pamela Courtney has a brand new book that is coming out on May 20th. So please make a date for that. Mark your calendars, ask your local librarians, ask your school librarians. Add it to your gift lists and everything else you need to do to get this book in your hands. May 20th, a season for fishing, a fish fry tradition. And this one, of course, is written by the amazing Pamela Courtney, our very own here, Pamela Courtney, and illustrations by Tony D. Chambers. And it will be published by Farah Strauss and Giroux. Thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime. Yes, mark your calendars for that one. But today we do have a book to get us going, a beautiful book to enjoy, and a wonderful topic, indeed a big topic to kind of just ponder and see how we navigate that, or how this book comes in and helps us navigate that big topic. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. MERIN and Her Very Bright Star, a story of resiliency, and it is written by a good friend of ours here at Storytime, Lori Mier, and illustrations are by Ethan Ruffler. Get ready, get comfortable, get cozy. Lori, MERIN and A Very Bright Star, not Lori. MERIN and A Very Bright Star coming right up after this break. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
Hello, I'm Brianna Carzu, the author and illustrator of Lou, and you're watching Storytime with Mr. Limata.
Welcome back. Yes, indeed. You are watching Storytime. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you are ready for this wonderful book. Yes. Are you in your favorite seat? Do you have what you need? Tea? Glass of water? Something? Go grab it now. We're about to get started. This one is written by Lori Mier, and of course, sending you, Lori, lots of love out there in Virginia. And illustrations are by Ethan Ruffler. MERIN and Her Very Bright Star, a story of resiliency. Here we go. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Always, Pamela Courtney, always. MERIN and Her Very Bright Star, a story of resiliency, written by Lori Mier, illustrations by Ethan Ruffler. On the outskirts of a smallish town inside a smallish grey house, MERIN is awake in her bedroom, gazing at a very bright star from her window. She is wishful under its silvery glow. Yeah. On the outskirts of a smallish town inside a smallish grey house, MERIN is awake in her bedroom, gazing at a very bright star from her window. On a very serious night 6 years ago, MERIN heard herself talking to the same very bright star as though it held her mom and dad and they could hear her. Why did you have to leave? Her thoughts and questions were lost in the solar system. Still, her heart discovered that if she continued to speak to the very bright star, she would feel unruffled and unworried before falling asleep. Every day after, MERIN spent nighttime this way. You see, MERIN's parents are lost. They left Earth when she was 3 years old. At that age, she did not know how to miss them, and now she does not know how to remember them. Missing them is confusing and can feel like a dark and open space. Yeah. You see, Marin's parents are lost. They left Earth when she was 3 years old. At that age, she did not know how to miss them. And now she does not know how to remember them. Missing them is confusing and can feel like a dark and open space. Yeah. It's a longish car ride to the city where she visits a person who helps her heal after they have lost something or someone. Yeah. That's a longish ride to the city where she visits a person who helps people heal after they have lost something or someone. Marin mostly listens and sketches in her notebook when she visits. She did trust Mrs. May with her secret, and if word got out elsewhere that she talked to a star each night, she would be laughed at. In every visit with Mrs. May, Marin hears it's not your fault. And so she almost believes that all the gloomy and serious things that happen are not her fault. Every day, Marin arms herself with a notebook, a pencil, and an open space on the page. On the very first page is a sketch of Marin's very bright star, where she first imagined her parents were listening to her. Marin also imagines them in daydreams during those longish car rides, when she reads Explorer magazines, when she sees others huddled under an umbrella. At dinner time, she listens for a voice that might be theirs when other parents yell, "Come inside." Hmm. During every celebration, she looks for them. Bright and beautiful things have a way of reminding her to wonder about them. The very first time she saw rainbow sherbet colored lights dancing in the night sky. The very first crystalline trees and milky white snow of winter, shiny feathers, and glittering stones for skipping, sprightly dandelion spirits, the thinking path in between the birch trees, the watchful blue heron at the edge of the lake, the inviting church bells bonging, the motherly community garden. Yeah. All those things make her wonder about them. Mrs. May calls Marin's notebook a bright and beautiful shield, a paper-made armor she carries to protect herself. Even so, this armor only works for so long in making the world seem less gloomy or less serious. One afternoon, Marin went to Mrs. May's smallish group with other kids her age who have also lost someone. Just another serious situation, Marion thought. As she settled into her seat in the circle, she noticed Leo, the fierce, as he likes to call himself, also in the group. Oh no, someone from my neighborhood is here. Marion pulled out her notebook and began to sketch the planet Venus. She had read earlier that week in the Explorer magazine that Venus is the brightest of all the planets in the solar system. Does anyone know what resilient means? Mrs. May asked the group. MERIN kept her head in her notebook and listened. Resilient people find ways to get through difficult losses and also believe that things will get better, said Mrs. May. MERIN's very bright star came to mind. It's better to talk about them than to feel alone, she admitted to herself. But certainly she would never say that out loud to the group. While she sketched, she thought of Leo. Leo has an open space also. Maybe that's why he is so brave. Maybe he has imagined his lost person in something such as a very bright star. As she headed out, Mrs. May pointed to the sketch and said, Venus is sometimes called the evening star because it is brightest right after the sun goes down, and so it only appears as a very bright star. MERIN's smile met Mrs. May's. Goosebumps rose on her arms. That evening, she scanned the smallish bookshelf in the smallish grey house and put down the astronomy guidebook, grabbed a headlamp, and went to bed early. She compared the night sky in the guidebook with the stars outside her bedroom window. As it turned out, MERIN's very bright star was, in fact, Venus. For all I know, my parents are on another planet, MERIN mumbled. If only all lost people went to Venus. She stared hard at her very bright star and wished that it were true, because if it were true, then all lost people would no longer be lost, hers or Leo's. Tears trailed down her face. She brushed them away, grabbed her notebook, wrote Leo inside, and then tucked it under her pillow. Afterwards, she told her parents a story about how they helped her to be resilient. And here is what became true. All the bright and beautiful things were filling her life, and she was brighter, and she was not the only person with an unknown space wanting to be filled. The star taught her that she could turn something lost into something found. And if everyone did this, the world would be brighter. Unworried, she fell asleep, as she did for many more nights than not. One evening before her next birthday, MERIN and Leo sat outside the smallish grey house on the outskirts of the smallish town, listening to the echo of wailing looms as the last light in the sky turned to indigo and dim stars emerged. MERIN asked Leo if he could keep a secret, her secret, and keep it forever. What do you believe? She told him. And that is the end of our story today. Thank you so much for joining in. And if we do have time after the break, we're going to come back and just look a little bit at the RISE organization. But thank you so much for joining in Storytime here today. And I hope that this book, just give us ideas and thoughts and just reminders of how important it is, right, to check in with not only the adults in our communities, but the little ones as well, the young ones, and see what they're going through, and especially in those difficult moments of loss. And I love this book so much. I love that it attempts to dive into this topic, death and loss, and especially and how it affects young people, right? And we know that this story is based off the life experience of Lori Mier herself. And we've had a conversation here on Storytime, and you can get to dive in and see, listen to that conversation and see how this book came about, and also the true life story that is partly shared in this book. Thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime. I hope that you are well. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Storytime. I'll see you very soon on the other side of this very short break. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, friends. I'm Marietta Apollonio, the author and illustrator of Jack the Library Cat, and you are watching my family's favorite Storytime with Mr. Limata. Bye.
Marietta, thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime. Yes, Marietta, creator of amazing books. Please do check out Jack the Library Cat from Marietta. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. I hope that you are having time. Yes, story for today, MERIN and her very bright star. Yes, Pamela Courtney, couldn't agree more with you. This book is powerful and told in such a gentle way. It's not didactic at all. No, not at all. From the very first time that Lori Mier introduced the book, and I had a chance to look at it and just I've appreciated it. I've appreciated the topic, partly because it resonates so much, even though I lost my parents later in life, but it's still something that that the book tackles, and some of those things that I think I wish I had at the time to explain, to think, to be able to process, right? Having that space, that support system, I think was so important for MERIN in this book. And I think it is true for all of us generally, right? Like we need those support systems, especially at a time of loss. But thank you so much, Pamela Courtney. Thank you, Lori Mier, for producing this wonderful, powerful book, as Pamela puts it. Yes, couldn't agree more with that statement. And so Lori Mier is out in Virginia, and of course she does work too with the RISE organization that is out there in Virginia, and they're in Waynesboro. But here's a little bit about them. RISE is a social justice organization whose primary mission is to give voice and hope back to the Black community. The organization has been in existence since 2018, and in a short period of time, they have grown so much, so many outreach programs. One of those programs is their anti-racism book club. This is how they met Lori, the author of this book, and instantly they were impressed with the manuscript and her commitment to this journey. Because she was a promising author, she shared her book manuscript with Chanda and Sharon, who ran RISE, and the depth of Lori's pain and trauma, which is, I think, Pamela Courtney, what you were referring to as well. The depth of Lori's pain and trauma of this one day seems like it's never ended. And Chanda couldn't finish it. Sharon admired how Lori pushed past a lot of pain and struggled to wear a smile. Lori has a deep desire to shape a better tomorrow for her son. Lori is sincere and committed to doing what she can to dismantle systemic racism. We share this part of the story because you may wonder why RISE decided to sponsor the publishing of a book written by a white woman and how this fits into RISE's mission. There were several reasons. First, Lori took advice for creating some of the characters and ensuring that there were Black people represented in the book. Second, she agreed to use a Black-owned publishing company. Third, she committed to doing the anti-racism she needed to do in order to address the needs of Black children that may come to her for trauma therapy. Finally, Chanda and Sharon at RISE wanted to honor her story and prepare her for restoration under the direction of Black women. Lori wanted to honor her new anti-racism journey. This is the first of many books we hope to publish. Our desire is to tell the Black community's stories and history. The RISE Foundation houses an all-Black library, one of its kind in Virginia. The RISE headquarters will be home to many authors and scholars. We are appreciative that we have been able to consult on this project and know that it's a catalyst to great things. The healing has begun. I think that is the power right there, that healing that the book talks about. And hopefully finding those ways that you can get the support that you need. And we know that healing comes in many ways, right? It's not just about loss, but there are many different things that happen that require steps, work in order to attain some kind of healing. So thank you so much for joining in. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Really Rise, and everybody else joining in out there. Thank you for choosing to be a part of Storytime. I hope you appreciated that book. I most certainly do. That is one that will forever be a part of my shelf. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime, and we're back again tomorrow with another exciting book from another friend of ours here at Storytime, Zeta Elliott, and illustrations by Purple Wang, and this one is called On My Block. Yes, come on and join us. Find out what happens on this block. How does it compare to yours? Thank you so much for being here today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. And yes, remember one more time, Pamela Courtney has a brand new book. Please do check it out. It is coming out on May 20th. Yes, pre-orders available now. And of course, if you're not able, please ask your local librarians, or indeed just help spread the word. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. I hope you enjoyed the book. I will see you again tomorrow when we are back with another exciting book. Thank you, Pamela Courtney, for joining in. Thank you, Ariel Thomas, if you're here with us. And of course, Julie, everybody else that is joining in Storytime today. Thank you so much. Wherever you are, please be sure to leave us a message. Let us know you are here so we can say hi to you too. Biggest of hugs. And I will see you again tomorrow when we are back with another exciting story. Much love from me. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Read me all of your stories, some with people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories, some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.